I'm Mary Carol Edwards. I work with Texas Coastal Watershed Program, which is a part of Texas AgriLife Extension and Texas Sea Grant. And want to welcome you and thank you for coming out this morning. I want to start with a little bit about the genesis of this project, the inspiration for it. I was talking with some developers who had a wetland on a piece of property that they would like to develop. And they kind of viewed it as an unruly child. They didn't really know what to do with it. So they asked me, what are our options? What are the bottom line? What are the benefits of preserving this wetlands? What do we do if we want to change or alter it? And I said, well, I know some things, but I'll find out for you the range of options. And while doing that, I found that there's no one up-to-date compendium of information that a landowner can go to say, this is the type of wetland that I have, this is what I'd like to do with it, and these are the benefits and the support that I can have for working with the wetland. So this is the inspiration for putting all this information together in one accessible place. And about the same time, I went to a conference on ecosystem services that was put on by the Speed Center at Rice University. And also, Houston Wilderness was releasing a study of the Houston-Galveston area ecosystem services. So it felt like the time was right to really focus on wetland ecosystem services. And another aspect of this is the fact that about 95% of the land in Texas is privately owned. So the vast majority of wetlands are in private hands, and it behooves us to get the information to landowners about managing their wetlands. So this workshop here is a companion piece to the website that we are developing, and you're going to hear more about the website as we go. We want your input on that because it's really in the beta version, and so we can incorporate your input into this website. We also have a survey in your packet, your information packet. Everybody should have picked this up. We do want this information. It's a before and after survey, and there are no essay questions, so it should be easy just to generate some responses to that and leave them with us at the desk when you go. I want to give our appreciation to Ducks Unlimited for providing the lunch. Thank you, Greg. And for Houston Wilderness, who's keeping us going with snacks. And also want to give recognition to my colleague, Rebecca DeVannen, who's in the back there. She's our GIS person, but she also has a great skill with design, and she put all the content for the website together as well as the content for the packets and designed it as well. So pretty amazing job. And the funding for this workshop and the website comes from the Renewable Resource Extension Act through Texas A&M University. So one more thing, at the SPEED conference, at lunch, I was having a sandwich near a young man who was saying, I can't believe those people in there are trying to put a dollar value on an acre of forest or an acre of wetlands, and he was kind of scandalized. But I hope you all understand that the value that the market assigns to an acre of wetlands is not the true value. The true value of a wetland is boundless. So with that said, I'm going to hand this over to John Jacob with a lot of rattling and wires.
I am most fortunate in that I have a great crew that puts on this kind of stuff, and then they stand me up here as the nominal boss, and I just get to look good and take credit. So the main thing I do in life is to choose good people. And then I stand back, and here you see the results. So I guess I too am a little bit like the person that Mary was talking about, a little bit scandalized about the dollar per acre. But I think most of us are here because we do recognize as Mary called it, the boundless value or the infinite value of land, and that there is much more than just how many pounds of rice you can get out of an acre, or maybe how much a square foot you can sell it for the next strip mall that's coming to town, and a lot of those are coming to town. So it's a quest that we're on, possibly a quixotic quest, but like Don Quixote, it is a quest that we must undertake, because this is the driver that we have, is this value that goes beyond strictly the market value. So we're trying to wrest what we can for information to perhaps translate some of this into economic terms. One thing, though, that I think we should remember, even though we're able to come up with a few dollar signs or value or whatever that other people can understand and appreciate, we do need to remember that these wetlands or forests or prairie potholes or whatever, that there's a lot more about them that we don't know than we do know. In fact, there may be more about them, there's a lot more about them that we can ever know, in fact, because nature is complex, and these are extremely complex systems. So with that, I hope that can kind of be a little bit of the guiding light as we move through the day. We've assembled an illustrious cast of characters here for you today, so then you will be illuminated. And in fact, don't forget to fill out that sheet so we can tell exactly how illuminated you are. We have to quantify that too, right? We have to show our value to our folks above. So I'm going to be the moderator as we move through the day here, and basically that will be to introduce folks. So I'm going to introduce the first two people here from the get-go. These are our two Jims, or maybe it's our two gems. Maybe. It's all a matter of perception. That's exactly right. But these guys really are gems, and most of you already know them. If you're involved in any kind of environmental issues, you know both Jim Lester and Jim Blackburn, and I've known them about as long as I've been in Houston. In fact, even before that, since I've worked with both of you when I was still up at the center of the universe in College Station, and I moved out to the hinterlands here. So Jim Lester, who is going to talk to us about the basics of wetland ecosystem services, has long been involved in environmental issues here. He's currently the president of HARC, which you still write that out as Houston Advanced Research Center, but it's just an acronym.
Yeah.
It's like Texas A&M.
Our new brand is just HARC.
Yeah, we're Texas A&M, but it's not the agriculture.
We got rid of the agriculture mechanical.
Yeah, we're not agriculture mechanical. Okay. All right, so we're just going to leave it as HARC, which is it is an advanced research center based in Houston. Actually, in the woodlands. It's in the woodlands. Yeah, you've been sucked into Houston, I'm sorry to tell you. You are part of it, so just, pay your money and there you go. I knew him, when I first knew him, he was at the University of Houston Clear Lake, and we collaborated on many issues there over the years. He's been involved with everything that's important here in terms of environment, certainly the environmental flows with the Trinity San Jacinto Galveston Bay Watershed. We've worked together with the Galveston Bay Estuary Program on the Galveston Bay Council. So he is an ecologist involved with shrimp, I think, was your basis. That's right. That's like soil for me. That's right. The former Jim Lester, the scientist formerly known as Jim Lester. That's right. Anyway, he's a great partner for all of us here working on a variety of issues. And I'll go ahead and introduce Jim Blackburn at the same time so they can just follow one after the other. Jim, of course, is probably our preeminent environmental lawyer here. He's been involved with all the interesting fights and even some less interesting, no doubt. So he has been at the front lines for quite a long time. A little bit less on the legal side now, I think, and more on the academic side. He has an appointment as a professor of practice at Rice now in the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department, where he actually is the director of the interdisciplinary minor in energy and water sustainability, and he's also the co-director of the Severe Storm Center, the SPEED Center. So we're glad that he has stayed involved, and will have some great stuff for us, as will Jim Lester. So I'm going to turn it over to Jim. First, Jim,